Alright. Alright, we are live, so I'm gonna go ahead and unpause. Now, what were we doing last time? I believe we were in the process of setting up nuclear power. Well, I can't remember what exactly, where in that process we had gotten to. So, we're gonna have to figure that out. I believe we were probably waiting on production for the reactor, probably. We do have some steps to do before that, so let's get started on that. So we're gonna cook up a centrifuge, and that is apparently we're manual crafting all the gears. And so this is going to be set up in one of our train squares. So we're going to head up there. So up we go. And past all of those. And let's just make sure not to get hit by any. Watch the mini-map to see if there are any that could potentially be coming this way. Alright, so I've gotten stuck on a cliffside. And then we have a whole bunch of drones resupplying the iron plates for that centrifuge that I was making. So let's just stand here and let those happen for a bit. Alright. So that should be good for now. And we keep on heading up. Alright, so now we're here. And let's just get a whole bunch of trees down. It looks like we may have chopped down some power lines as well, but it also looks like we didn't need those power lines, because none of these things are dead. Alright, so this square, we can at least use this to start. Also, is this personal battery for... Oh no, I'd replaced it with a Mark II battery. That's why I have one of those sitting in my inventory. Alright, so let's take the centrifuge and just plop it down somewhere. So this has one recipe. It takes uranium ore into two types of uranium. Although apparently maybe only one type of uranium. It says crafting speed of 0 for the other type. Alright, so we're going to have to chop down these trees by the train station as well. Because otherwise we're not going to be able to build that stuff. So let's get rid of those. And this train stop will be uranium input. Uranium input. Alright, so we have that. And now we have to put a train unloader blueprint. So that goes something like... I could have sworn I had a... Oh yes, 4 train unloader. That's the one I was looking for. So this goes there. And we also need a refueler on this stop. That goes in there. Then we just have to connect all of that up. And now we need to get a train in. So let's get a train and some cars. And then start working on that. So in the meantime, we still need a lot of other stuff to get produced for the actual reactor and everything, so we're not really in a huge rush here. We need 500 advanced circuits for the reactor. And also we might need more centrifuges. I'm not sure how the ratios work exactly, but we're going to have to figure that out. Alright, for now, let's just get in our train. Alright, so the train goes there, then need one more cargo wagon, which goes there, 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 and there. So now this, the train, if I can click on it, is set to uranium input until empty cargo or inactivity. Let's do that. And then we have uranium output until full cargo or inactivity, and set it to automatic, and off it goes. Alright, so that'll be that. I just realized that this is a problem. So that needs to go up there. Yeah, we have issues with the way our blueprint is set up, that it doesn't quite tile perfectly. That's going to have to be something we figure out. In the meantime, I want to know if the uranium train will make it back here properly. I do not know if it will or not. We're going to have to just figure that out. And we are up to 200 red circuits, which is still way fewer than the 500 we need for the reactor. But we are getting more every so often, so that should be fine. And those biters keep on attacking. Alright. I see something down south on the mini-map that looks like it is trains having a problem. So let's head down there and fix that. And also we have green circuits here on this part of the factory, so I might just expand that while I'm waiting. Like if I can add more production onto the factory. Hello, how is it going? I am still a little bit sick, but I'm healthy enough to stream, I think, so we're doing that. Alright, so this whole thing is caused by this all being yellow. So you need a signal there. Alright. Alright, that didn't work at all. That didn't work at all. Okay. We're gonna need to do something I should have done ages ago with this, which is we need more space between those two railways. It's actually just awful because I can't put I can't. Why are you doing that? Because I need to be able to put signals in between there. So I need to make sure those two get connected up. Alright, and then I guess these have to go there for now. But now we can put signals in here. So you get a signal, and you get a signal. Okay, but this whole thing is being registered as the intersection, so we do actually just have to move the entire thing over a bit. That is a bit of an issue, because there are trains on it. But I guess we're just gonna have to do that. Alright, so you go like that. Now because you're not connected at all to anything, you can just run through. So that'll help temporarily. And then I want this whole thing to be taken out and moved just over this way. And then we can just jog over to meet up with it there. Alright. So that is that, and now we just need to make these line up properly because they weren't. And then finally we just pop that down into that. And now we just have to get the signaling for these. So I think that has to be like a chain signal or something. And I think we probably need that to be a chain signal too. There we go. And then let's also put... Actually, there's a signal right over there. That's not too far away. That should be fine. Alright, what was I heading down to do? I just headed down because I saw that train on the mini-map. That's why I wasn't actually doing anything specifically other than that. Alright, so let's head back up. Now, first of all, has our nuclear train made it around properly? Oh, the answer is there is already a nuclear train. That's... what? Okay, so this one was never set up properly. Got it. But this one that's waiting behind it was. Alright, so you can just... I don't know, can we just like send it to an out-of-the-way station somewhere where it's not going to be an issue? Actually, yeah, you can just go to Hjorvir. There. We have a billion Hjorvir stations, because that's just the default name when I copy-pasted from the blueprint. And so that's just a station that doesn't do anything. Alright, so that is set up. So now, if we go down here... I mean, that train's probably going to be, like, all the way filled up, right? Oh, you can do this? You can zoom in and look at parts of the map that you're not actually at? That's handy. Alright, so this train is going to get filled, hopefully pretty quickly. And then, in the meantime, how are red circuits made? We need copper cable, plastic bars, and green circuits. So we have green circuits. Did we ever make copper cable here? Seemingly... yes. So we have copper cable there. We have green circuits there. So we just need plastic bars. Alright. Also, it looks like... because when I was just over here a minute ago, it looked like there was something badly wrong with my iron production. So let's see what's going on there. So we have this whole thing, which... so first of all, this is just not belted properly. You need that, I think. But second of all, there's no ore here, which could just be... okay, also this machine isn't powered. So there's no ore here, which could just be the train being slow. And I suspect it probably is just the train being slow. But we're going to have to figure that out. Alright, our red circuits are up to like 300 some, so we're making good progress. I was at 200 just like 15 minutes ago. Alright, so... where is the iron ore train? Yeah, so you are just filling slowly. And there is no train going here. Alright, so... oh, that one is outputting there. Right, that's fine. Don't need to worry about that. Alright, so I think the iron ore situation is just pretty bad, but I don't know if there's much we can do about that, aside from just waiting for it to be resolved. I guess we should make sure that there's nothing down here that's using iron ore, or even just like being a station. Because if there is an iron ore station down here, then that could be causing confusion with the trains going to the wrong stop. So that's copper plates, copper wire. So if we head over here, and down here, is this station... no, this station has been fully transformed into a sulfuric acid station. So we shouldn't have to worry about the iron ore going anywhere other than it's supposed to. So that's good. We're also just about to unlock laser shooting speed. That's up to 98%. And we have a whole bunch of red circuits getting delivered now, all of a sudden. Up to 436 of them. Which means we are pretty close. Oh, we need steel plates and copper plates to be set to higher values. So let's go there. And go there. Alright, laser shooting speed is finished. Nuclear fuel reprocessing. I don't have purple science, so I can't do like any of this stuff. So what I can do is... I guess I'll do more laser shooting speed, because I might as well. Big attack hit some walls down there. Alright, so if we have iron plate production and we have copper wire production in the factory, then the only thing that we need to get red circuits is plastic. Now, we already have... we have oil on the train system already. So that's not going to be much of a problem. Right, because plastic is just coal and petroleum gas. Okay, the coal is on the train system, I believe. So we're just going to need to bring in some trains for that. Alright, so we head over here. And we're going to have to deal with that biter's nest over to the west in a minute. But in the meantime, we can set this up. So you go like that, so that you're all lined up properly. And then we make sure to overwrite everything else and place it in. Alright, so that can get started there. And now we just have to wait for the drones to build this. And it's going to take them a minute, of course. And up to 442 advanced circuits. So Should just be another 10 minutes or so before we can place down a nuclear reactor and see exactly what's going on with those guys. The drones are all going crazy, of course. A whole lot of work to do for them. Let's craft up more train stops, just in case. And then I guess we can speed things up by walking over here and placing down some of this stuff. You're on the second reactor? No, I'm still trying to build this. I don't have one yet. I'm just trying to figure out what it does. Alright, so these all go in. I'm just gonna have to stand here, stand close enough for our personal drone range to catch all of this. And then eventually one of the drones will put down the drone ports. And there we go. Alright, there's another wave of resupplies for myself as well. That's nice. And actually, might be very close. Yeah, I assume they're going to be pretty complicated, and I have no idea how they work, so we're going to have to figure it out. But we do have enough advanced circuits, so now we just need to wait on the drones for the other stuff. So we are just a couple copper and steel short. And hopefully that will be delivered momentarily. In the meantime, we need to connect some of that stuff up. Because I did it wrong when I made the blueprint. I don't know why this does this sometimes. Oh, it's just a missing railway somewhere, I guess. Alright. We are 16 steel plates short. Are you going to use barrels or pipes to get food between squares? I am just putting them onto trains like I do with the rest of this stuff. Alright, so now I can click that and craft up a nuclear reactor. And now we're going to have all these drones resupplying me. That is going to take a bit, and I don't really need that much of those things anymore. Alright, so let's head up here where our nuclear setup is. And we do have uranium delivered at some point. Alright, so now we can place this guy down and just look at what it wants. So, you use uranium fuel cells. Yep, the trains have fluid carriages, it's quite handy. Alright, so the fuel cells are plates and both types of uranium. Crazy, it doesn't say where that's done in. Oh, is it just... It's probably just an assembler? Or... Nobody uses barrels? Yeah, to be honest, I didn't. Oh, I guess barrels do exist. To be honest, I did not know that. Alright, so how do we make uranium fuel cells? Is it just an assembler recipe? And also, why did I just manually craft an assembler? Okay, it is just an assembler recipe. Alright, so let's I guess just figure out how these ratios are going to work. That goes over there. And that goes in. And they get powered up. So this is going to make uranium of both types. And it looks like we're actually going to need a lot of those in order to get a reasonable amount of output. Alright, so then we need to output them, and I think onto 2 separate belts, just so that there aren't problems. So you are going to only do the fancy kind, and you are gonna only do the other kind. And we need to bring that power across. So, is this working at all? I see a distinct lack of the other type of uranium. So that is going to be a bit of a problem. Because we do actually... Right, this needs both types. It needs 1 and 19. Yep, production has begun, and hopefully this does it, right? 0.7% uranium-235 and 99.3% uranium-238. Well, that is not the ratio I need for that. So that is a concern. So, first of all, I'm going to need more centrifuges for this, obviously. And second of all, I'm going to need some way of fixing the ratios. Alright, so let's take that out temporarily and just use this whole space. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, so second centrifuge. Oh, I'm still in the process of crafting it. That's why I couldn't find it. Alright. But there is no other way of doing that, right? So we're gonna have a whole lot of extra uranium, I guess, just inherently. And we're gonna have to figure out what to do with it. And that's probably where these other things come in, I would guess. Which type do we need? So the rare kind is 235, and the easy kind is 238. Okay. So that's what this would do, I guess. And that would... Huh. Oh, I see. So you take 40 uranium-235 to make 41 uranium-235 at the cost of 3 uranium-238. So we can just do that, but I don't have production science. So I guess we're gonna have to do that. It's rails, electric furnaces, and productivity modules. Alright, I technically have all of those things. And let's see here. I could just do this like the incredibly cursed way. I could just make that using drones, because I do have all of those things in the drone network, and I have requester chests. So I could just throw together something very quick and easily like that, and it would probably be fine-ish. Alright, so let's head down, because I need to do this by the science labs where the rest of the types of science are. And that is, unfortunately, a bit far away. So I'm going to go for a bit of a walk. And down we go. What number do you need in purple science? A lot? A lot. Or maybe this? No, that's not the right one. Yeah, we need a silly amount, apparently. Alright, so let's... Yeah, that's a lot. We're just gonna have to get it started, and probably not gonna jump immediately into doing that. We're gonna have to figure out some other better way of doing uranium processing. Maybe we can just find something else to do with all the spare bad uranium or something. I don't know. Because that's gonna take a lot of science, which we definitely don't have. Alright, so let's just go requester chests. Yeah, uranium bullets. I think there are some other things we can do, probably. So we just get, I guess, 3 requester chests. Actually, we only need 2, I think. No, we can actually do the whole thing on 1. That should be fine. So you are going to request... What were the 3 things? They were rails... Where are they? Electric furnaces. So you get 50 of those. And then rails, and you get 100 of those, and you get productivity modules, and 50 of those. And then... Oh, we need to get you within drone range, apparently. Yep, it takes furnaces, because of course it does. The productivity modules are the bigger concern, honestly. Alright, so we do that. Then we take you out. And hang on, I have to figure out how to do this properly. Actually, hang on, wait. No, we can't have that there. It has to be slightly further spaced out. So you go there, and you get furnaces. And you get productivity modules. Where are those? And you get rails. Alright, so now that that's in, we can just take all these off onto 3 separate belts so that there's not going to be any weird stuff with one of them getting clogged. And then you are going to be the furnaces. You are going to be productivity modules. And you are going to be rails. Alright, so now I have to take the stuff that got onto that before I set it. And now we have those. Alright, so we can just put down a couple of assembly machines. And let's see, so we need to make sure that there's enough space for all of these in here. Oh, stuff is getting destroyed. Stuff is getting destroyed. That is bad. Alright. So we run down this way. Oh, So, yeah, that's... Wait, now it's up here? What? Oh, there was just a different random alert that was showing up? Okay. Yeah, that's catastrophic. They've gotten in somewhere where I didn't expect them to be. Alright. So, how did they get here? Where did they come from? And how did they get past all the other stuff that was in between here and the outside of the factory? Like, what? Okay, so they also got those things up there, which apparently we need to craft more of. I'm also going to need to clear out our inventory of some stuff. Get that out. We don't need those. I don't need this backup armor. That can go away. This pistol can go away. Those can go away. Alright, inventory has been managed. Now we just need to get a way to get through that pipe. Now we can stand over here and rebuild all this stuff that was destroyed. Guess it's a good thing I had these random turret boxes here. Probably slowed them down a fair bit. But where did they come from? I guess those ones there? But that doesn't make any sense. I have this entire giant wall here. So they couldn't have come from that way. Right? This wall is all intact, right? Yeah, I mean, they didn't chew through this. Maybe they went around? I guess technically, if they were very strategic about it, they could have gotten around up here. But that seems incredibly implausible. It really seems like they just spawned miraculously in the middle of my factory. And, like, I don't know what to do about that. Teleporting bugs, apparently. Apparently. Like, they definitely didn't come from up here, because they would have hit all these other stuff first. They definitely didn't come from here, because there's a wall of lasers there. Yeah, there's literally no direction that they could have possibly come from. What the heck? I mean, if they'd gone around the wall, I guess that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, they must have come down this way, but, like, there's no biters in that direction. So they would have had to, like, deliberately go up and around, which, without hitting those oil miners in the process. Alright. Nothing about that entire situation makes any sense at all. But I guess we'll expand the wall out that way, just in case. Also, we have another train problem up here. The good news is that the trains are only getting stuck in the old part of the factory and not the new part, which means that things are doing well in the more properly designed sections. Alright, so you aren't going because yellow has this guy in it. You aren't going because yellow has that guy in it. You're just there forever, not moving. And you aren't going up because this whole area is light blue. Alright, I mean that doesn't do anything, does it? That definitely doesn't help at all. Alright, how do we fix this situation? So you aren't currently causing any problems, right? You're just sticking there waiting. Yeah, the crisscross tracks are not ideal. But it's not, like, completely trivial to fix it. Alright, well, if I just... Okay, that doesn't help. Because this guy is the one who needs to move, ultimately. If I put that back... So that's not going to work. Alright, so I think we are going to have to take this out. And I have a better idea. So these don't need to cross at all if I do this next thing. Now, unfortunately, there's a train on the tracks at the moment, which is not ideal. So this goes that way. Now, can I just, like, send you out on a bit of a loop? And then, like, that. Alright, so that is a bit silly, but it should work once we get all of these tracks in, obviously. And we're also going to need to put at least a signal in there. Alright, so now that guy can go around there. Those tracks don't have to cross anymore. And that should be problem solved. Alright. Pretty easy fix. What was I doing? Right, I was setting up science. So we run all the way back down. And we don't get hit by a random train passing through. Alright, we have another deadlock here. Because you can't go 5 feet in this part of the factory without a deadlock, and it's more of this stuff again. Where are you going? Oh, you're the uranium train. I think that shouldn't cause any problems. I think it should be fine. There's just so many others left. So, you can't go forwards because... Why can't you go forwards? Everything here looks fine. Yeah, you should be able to go forwards. Oh no, you want to go up. Okay, that makes sense. So that's why you're stuck, and you're stuck there. This isn't a signaling problem. This is just, yeah, this is just a, this is just straight up a problem. So this gear train has to. Well, the gear train wants to go up that way. And this train wants to go over that way, so that's obviously just like neither of them are going to go straight through each other. So what if I hop in, set you to manual, and Can I just go this way temporarily? Alright, so that will solve things. And then you can set back to that and then try again. But this whole setup doesn't work with these 4-length trains going through there, because they're just too long. So, okay, I have an idea. If I just stretch this space out... No, I can't even do that easily, because it's just so space constrained in here. But if I just, like... If I just take you out, and I just need to make it so that there's enough room for a long enough train to be in here past the intersection. So you're going to go down this way, and then you're going to loop back up like that. And then you're going to connect in there, or you're going to connect over there. Come on, just please line up properly. Yeah, definitely timing-based ones are a nightmare. Alright, how do I get you to line up? Maybe it's like that. I could have sworn okay, that. And that. Alright, so now this maybe will be fixed. Hopefully. So now we can put that in there. And now this loop is big enough. Alright. A train car was destroyed. That's exciting. What happened there? Well, off to go fix another problem. They seem to be never ending. Okay. There's no evidence of anything here. It's just this same train just sitting here with one destroyed train car for no apparent reason. Okay. Well, we have another... How are there so many of these? Like... Alright, so we just take that out and that all gets fixed. This train... Okay, it looks like it's apparently set to manual when they get a train car destroyed. That's good. So we're gonna have to replace that train car and I guess just... I mean, I don't even know what caused it. There don't seem to be any biters in the area. Alright, you're off. Yeah, but like I don't see any around here. Oh, I guess those... So they must have like destroyed that one train car for no apparent reason. And then come over here. And then gotten shot by these turrets. That doesn't really make any sense, but sure, I guess. Okay, so we do actually need to have signals on this area. They just need to be further back so that they don't cause problems. Let's do something like that. Oh, there's already a signal on that row, so that has to go out. So yeah, now this signal is far enough back that a 4-length train can get stopped there without causing problems elsewhere. Another train bumping into it and racing off? I mean, maybe, but like it was in the middle of a track. Like it was here or something. It was like there or there. It wasn't like at an intersection or anything, or even anywhere particularly close to one in terms of where it came from. Alright, now we're doing this whole thing again. Why are these trains like this? We need another one of those, I guess. I don't know why that keeps happening. Alright, so that is all fixed. And then that one's going off. Alright. Hopefully I can now go back and click like the 4 buttons that I need to click to get science production running. We were 99% done before we hit a string of interruptions, as usually happens. So we just go up here. Alright, so this belt has to come around to there and then go up. No, not underground belts. Just regular old belts. Like that. And then this can go up like that. And now all these just get put into these. Like that. And like that. And we power them up. And take an output belt down. Which then needs to get powered up. Alright, so that should be everything. Now we just call this production science. And can production science get... Oh. That was the wrong thing. I want to keep those. So we have productivity modules. And what's the buttons for this? Shift right click, shift left click. And then all of these get productivity modules, which we have to do the slower manual way because they also take them as an input. Okay. Each of these uses a full tray of almost, but not quite, 1 rails per second, which is kind of egregious. But I guess it's fine. Alright, so is this producing? I see a whole lot of stuff going in, and I do not see any stuff coming out. So the problem is productivity modules, of course. We got plenty of furnaces. I wouldn't say we have plenty of rails, but we at least have some going in. But the productivity modules are MIA. So where are the productivity modules, and what are they missing? They are missing... Oh yeah, so I've told the red circuits to basically ignore that line because I need them to make blue science primarily, among other things. I really just need to mass produce more red science or red circuits and other stuff. Alright, so we're just gonna take that output priority off so that we get at least, some productivity modules. But that is not going to work very well. It's going to work quite poorly. Although we have evidence of purple science on a belt. So now we simply take you down, cross under all of those, and then let's see. I don't know if this already takes 2 inputs, but there you go. Purple science is in. And it might end up overfilling with a second thing, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Oh no, yellow science is going onto the same side of the belt. So we're just going to have to fix that, make yellow science go on the other side of the belt real quick. So that, and that, and that. Alright, so now yellow science and purple science go on opposite sides of belts. And the good news is this doesn't use all that many productivity modules. So we might actually be able to keep up with like one of these. Yeah, the red circuit situation is pretty abysmal at the moment, and there's not... I mean, I need like more of everything in order to do them better. Alright, so we are going to head up, and I guess, I mean, we have power problems too, right? At least sometimes. The steam engine power has dropped off. Why did that happen? That's not good. That's not good at all. Alright, steam engines, what is your problem? It doesn't look like you have a problem. Oh, no, I'm dumb. That's just because we're actually hitting capacity for once. So they're not outputting as much as they possibly can. Because they don't need to. Good job, steam engines. Alright, but I do think we have power issues, at least definitely at night we do. And then if all the drones are going, then at day as well. So I would like to at least sort of get this nuclear thing running a little bit. Do we have any... No, we have exactly 0 of the fancy uranium. And obviously it stopped running because the belts are full. So let's get just some boxes in and power that up. Yeah, I am in fact currently in the process of building a nuclear power plant to get power, and I need so much. So I can... Let's see, do I have another one of those distillery things already crafted? I do. So I can have a couple of those running. And there... I'm probably going to need a lot of these, from what it seems. Alright, actually, can I just... because these have settings on them. Just copy-paste those across so that I don't have to go through all the menus to get the settings. Alright, so still no evidence of 235. We can at least get you started. And if I productivity module you, and you probably use a lot of energy, right? Okay, an entity is being destroyed. Where? It looks like it might... It looks like it's directly south of me. I'm gonna have to head over there to figure out what that is. The fact that it's still destroyed implies that it's out of drone range, which is a concern. It might be this wall, or... The alert has disappeared, which either means it did eventually get fixed, or the alert just disappeared because it felt like it. I don't see any... I didn't see any biter corpses, but there's also a whole giant factory down there. Or there's a whole giant forest, so it's not like I'm going to be able to tell. It might have been this. There's a biter nest like right there. We're gonna need to deal with that at some point, but oh well. Okay, so let's. Yeah, real life nuclear has a similar issue. Yeah, definitely. Definitely is a thing in real life as well. Okay, so the power is definitely crashed a bit there, but obviously it is getting back to daytime, so solar power is turning back on. Alright, if we just get, like, a little bit of uranium-235, we can at least experiment with the nuclear setup and figure out how all of that stuff works. But I should probably just be speeding up purple science production as well, but there's just so many things that all need to be done simultaneously in this game. It's very, very different from Satisfactory, where you can mostly just pick one thing at a time to worry about. Alright, still none of the fancy uranium. It would go here if it existed. Can I get... Actually, it's going to be easier to just copy-paste that entire thing. And then that goes across. And that also needs a power pole. Alright, so this is going. Still low power. I guess I can just, like, pop some solar panels down somewhere, and that'll help a little bit. I don't know, this space is probably too close to biter territory for this. Oh, and it's also right in the middle of where I want to place the squares, so I'm going to have to tear it down in a bit, so that's probably not worth it. But this side over here, there's no biter nests, and then there's a giant ocean thing, which the biters probably can't deal with. So I can just pop down some solar panels over here, and it should be fine. So let's just get a couple rows of that going. And that should help during the day. And then we'll get a couple rows of the, what are they called, capacitors? I know they're batteries, but they have some weird fancy name. Accumulators. Alright, so solar panels are all going in. And a whole bunch of trees are going out. That's fine. I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with all that wood at some point. It's probably just gonna end up filling up a bunch of boxes. Alright, so this solar array is doing well now. And now we should probably... And it's taking forever for the rest of these to get filled in, but they are showing correctly. The game science allowing you to carry a portable reactor is way easier. Yeah, that's going to be handy once I have that unlocked. Alright, so these solar panels are mostly in now. So now let's put some accumulators in. And I remember we definitely need like way more of these than we have, because they run out like instantly as soon as night falls. So So let's put in another couple rows of them. And we don't have enough backlogged for those, so that will just have to happen as they get produced. But production should be a little better now. There we go. Still nothing. What was it? What was the ratio? It was 0.7%, so like, I guess we would need like 100 and, what was the number, like 130-ish? We're at 97 now, so we should be on average getting 1 to 142. Alright, so we should on average not be too far from getting 1, so that's nice. I feel like there ought to be some other thing to do with all of this excess uranium, aside from just using a very tiny amount of it. 1 to 143. Yep, that is not much of a difference, but sure. Alright. More. The pipes are being destroyed again. Is this the same spot? Is this the same spot that they've magically gotten into? Check on the map. Yes. How? How are they getting there? It makes no logical sense. Oh, I almost just got hit by a train. I dodged that by like a millimeter. Alright, so now we're down here. Alright, yes. Once again, they've gotten all the way into here without hardly damaging anything. Like, they blew up a couple of pipes. Oh, there was one still alive there. Somehow. My automatic laser system just fired. How? How are they getting in here? Like, this is the only damage they caused seemingly at all? Okay, well, I guess the easy mode answer is, since they seem to be attacking that laser turret, I may as well just fire it up. So instead of a gun turret with no ammo, that's just going to be a laser turret. And I guess because I don't know that they aren't literally just teleporting in, I guess we'll just have to get laser turret coverage of this entire area. Alright, there we go. And you get walls around you, just for good measure. And that should... Alright, and then I guess that gun turret is also out of ammo. Again, it should not be possible for them to be getting in here at all, but apparently they are. So we're going to take that gun turret out, place it with a laser turret that can actually fire, and power it up. Alright. Should be all secure now, and that gun turret, I guess, can just have some ammo. Alright, I have no idea how the biters are getting here, but it should be well defended now, despite making no sense. I mean, there's simply no... There are literally 0 dead zones between the outside and here. I mean, these turrets still have ammo in them. What? What? Why did that arrow look like it was also right around here? These spiders are driving me insane. Okay, well, that's probably fine. I mean, whatever happened that time, apparently they were able to resolve pretty easily. So I guess let's just go back to waiting for uranium to show up. Alright, that is just down here. Yeah, that's expected. And it's been dealt with. I don't know if we have... Do we have drone coverage down there? What's the button for that? Yes, we do. So that is just going to get auto-repaired, nothing to worry about. Alright, so now we head on up. And surely by now we will have some of the special uranium. Let's craft more of those, since it seems like we're going to need a lot of them. Also, continue getting those waves. Let's get all the resupply. Sure. Now we head on up. So we have this going. Still zero sign of any of that. We're up to 185. And if it's 1 to 143, we should have gotten some by now. So this is exactly why I decided to craft another centrifuge. Seems like we're going to need a lot. Although the electricity consumption might just mean that adding more doesn't even help that much. Oh, I should just copy-paste again to save time. Alright, so that is 4 centrifuges. And I guess maybe like it's just on a cycle for each individual one, does like 140 of one thing and then one of the other. Because none of these have individually made more than 100 yet. Yeah, we're not going to run out of uranium ore. We have like a bajillion of it. And we're also probably not... It's going to be at least a little bit before we run out of space in our boxes. Alright, so the next thing to do is... I was over here and I wanted to set up plastic production so that I could start making red circuits in the new factory and then potentially even start doing useful stuff with them. So that's what this over here was going to be. So this is going to be plastic. So you need to be a coal input. We have one train with that stop. Hopefully it'll find its way over here at some point. And you are a crude oil input. And again, we have a train with that stop, which hopefully will make its way over. And then we just need to make plastic. So, so first, it's coal and petroleum gas. So first we need to make petroleum gas, which means we need some oil refineries. We already have 2. Alright, so let's just get sort of in the middle of here where we have enough space to to mess around. It's been a while since I have messed with this stuff, so I don't fully remember what I'm doing. So you are set to advanced oil processing. Okay. Oh, we also need water. I guess we can have a water train. Seems like it's probably not necessary, but we have the stops available for it. So this is going to be water input. And that will just be something that we have to deal with once we actually start hooking this up. We're going to need to get a water train set up, which is going to be annoying. Alright, so we have these. So it makes 5 heavy, 9 light, and 11 gas. So we just need to turn everything into gas for this particular recipe. So that's pretty simple. And that's going to be mostly in... These are in chemical plants, right? Yeah, okay. So, chemical plants. Do I have any currently? No, so let's craft some. And while we're at it, get some of that forest out of the way. So we are going to need this space. Alright, chemical plants. Alright, so chemical plant goes in, and you are going to be heavy oil to light oil. So this makes 5. This can crack up to 20, so that's not going to be an issue. So then we're going to have, what, 9 light from that, and like, what's going to be 15 divided by 4, so like 3-ish, 3.8, something like that. So we're going to have like 15-ish light oil there, so let's get another chemical plant in. And this is going to be light oil cracking. And it should be able to handle all of that. And then just make a whole bunch of petroleum gas. Alright, so now we just have to connect these pipes. So that's easy. Actually, can I flip you? Maybe? That might make it a bit easier. So you need to go underground and then over there and then in. Then you need to just come over like that and in. And I'm trying to make this like approximately tileable so that I could just place like 5 of these rows next to each other and be fine. That would be handy. Alright, so we have heavy oil going across there, we have light oil going across there. So now we just need to get the inputs all connected up. So we need water into those 3. Oh, that's right. So the way you place underground pipes, that doesn't work. And does that connect up? Pipe to ground, extent 4, hopefully? Wait, no, that's, yeah, so that, okay, that's actually an issue. Yeah, so that's not going to work out quite that way. Okay, I have an idea. How about I flip you again? So this pipe can just go across up there. Then this one, instead of going to underground there, if you go down there, and then go across like that, and then I don't know, this seems like it's probably not right. But then the water pipe can come out like that, and then in. Okay, but then this is going to unintentionally meet up with this crude oil pipe. Or maybe not. Maybe that can go down there and around. Alright. So we have the crude oil pipe going in there. We have the water pipe going in there. But then we just need to get it over to there as well. Alright, so how about instead of you going max distance, you go there instead, and maybe that gives us some room to work with. Let's see, we might have to give more space. Because, like, we almost can do something with this. Actually, wait, if that goes down earlier, like there, then this can come out there. Is that even helpful? Is that even helpful? No. Okay, so what if this then... No, because we need to get the water into there. So I think this last one needs to be pushed out a little bit. Where is the chemical plant? There it is. So I think we need to just give more space. So, now with that additional space, what can we do? We can run that along like there. You are your light oil to petroleum. So that goes along there. Now we have plenty of space for that to go in there. Alright, is that everything functional? So that's all the light oil residue going through. That is all the water going through. So now we just need to get the petroleum gas out, which hopefully won't be terribly difficult. Oh, it's definitely going to be hard, because that pipe is in the way there. I really wish... There's got to be a way of, like, making it so that pipes don't connect. Like, I just want that connection to not be a thing. Alright, what if you immediately go underground? And then... No, that's not going to work. Do we have to go... Do we have to take it out south, I guess? We can go one road down there, and that should solve, like, all of our problems. So it'll make this a little bit bigger than just, like, fully within the size of the refinery, but that's fine. Alright, so now we can go here, and... So we have purple science now. So... I mean, 1,500 is a lot. But I guess when you have to do a lot of something, the best way of doing that is to get started doing it as soon as possible. Alright. So that is all in. Then let's just get rid of some of those. And then those just need to hook up there. Alright, so if we have this, then it should be... Let's just get power poles in, I guess. So I want the power poles to be close enough that they connect across within the blueprint and don't have to rely on these connections to things outside of the blueprint. Alright, so we have this. A drone port is being damaged. That's probably not good. Where... Oh, yeah, okay, that's unfortunate. Not much I can do about that. It's on the other side of the planet. Let's see here. Is there much more we need to do here? I guess we should head down there and resolve that. Yeah, see now drones are getting caught in the crossfire as well. Down we go. So apparently having a drone connection through unsecured area is not really feasible, apparently. The biters will apparently attack the drone port. Now, I assume the reason it's only being damaged and hasn't gotten destroyed yet is because I do have a lot of repair packs in the system. And it is a drone port, so there's probably plenty of construction drones there to help it. Or it might have just been damaged it's just like stopped being damaged. Alright, so we're going to have to get around these walls here and keep on heading down. Alright. So, where is this particular thing? Yep, it makes sense on the map. It's pretty far away. This whole area is somewhat distant, which means there are a lot of biters around. Alright, so yeah, it's this one here. Now, I think the easiest thing to do is just put some laser turrets in, and then whenever... I guess we can... Let's see, so it's going to be from this spider's nest to there, right? Yeah, it's all of those guys. Now, is because placing turrets does make them very angry. So if I put a turret there, are they going to freak out about it? No. Alright, so at least that's something, and then I think I want to do the same for this one down here. Alright, so now these, at least the couple that are closest, we'll get that one as well. The couple drone ports that are closest to that biter's nest will have some laser turret defenses. We'll see if the biters make a bigger deal of that whole thing now. Like, they might push the attack harder in the future, which would be annoying, but if that happens, then we'll just bother to wipe out that nest, which I've sort of been wanting to ignore, but it is probably too close. We'll have to get rid of it eventually. Gosh, that intersection is horrifying. Not my finest work there. Alright, so now we'll make our way up. And we are going to I guess, check on the uranium and then go back to work on our plastic production. Although we might just call it a day there as petroleum gas production and then have plastic production be the next step. Because we're going to need petroleum gas for a lot of other stuff too. So it probably makes sense to have a dedicated production area for it. Alright, so we keep on going up. And just keep on walking. There's a gate here to get past that wall. And now we're up here. Alright, so... That train was not going very fast. I don't know how that killed me. That train was moving very slowly. But I guess even just being clipped by a train is enough. Alright, so now we have to make our way back up there. And pick up all of our stuff. So up we go. Fortunately, we didn't get that far north before getting hit by that train. Unfortunately, we don't have our movement speed upgrades for this journey, so we're going to have to walk slowly up there. Up we go. And there we are. How do we... Do I just deconstruct it? Yeah, just deconstruct it. And then we need to... Oh, of course, the one thing that it didn't give me, apparently. Apparently the one thing that I didn't pick up with all of that was my armor, which is like the most important thing. And a whole bunch of other things too. Alright, so let's grab that. And equip it. That'll give me a whole bunch more inventory slots. And then we pick up all of that. Now the drones are going to have to sort out whatever they were doing previously. And it's equipped to the pistol. Why do I even have this? Go away. Alright, so that can go there. Why do I have another pistol? Why do I have so many pistols? I didn't even think I had one, much less two. Alright, what was I doing? Right, I was going to go and see if we have any of the fancy nuclear. Oh, we do. I can see it off in the distance. Alright, let's not get hit by a train again. So we have, like, what, probably one of these? No, we have 3 now. Alright, well, that's a huge improvement. So, now that we have those, the next step is iron plates. Did I account for that? I feel like last time I may have put an iron plate stop in here. That's a Hjorvir, that's a Hjorvir. Alright, so I need to make an iron plate stop. So let's go up here. You are iron plate input. Alright. And then we need to get rid of a whole bunch of trees. Because this area needs to be a train stop. So we get another one of these. And pop it in there. Alright. And we're probably going to need to place a power pole just close enough to get all of those active. And then once the iron plates show up... Was that them? No, it's just a random unrelated train. Ooh, gun turret was destroyed. Gun turret was destroyed. Where are you? There? How are they getting there? I mean, I guess technically there's no, like, hard defenses, but you'd think they'd hit one of these first. Whatever. That should be fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's within drone range, so it should get fixed. Alright, so we need... Why do I keep just automatically clicking craft instead of grabbing one? I even have them in my hotbar. Alright, so we have an assembly machine. This assembly machine is... Why are all these showing up as new? I don't think that those are new. So, uranium fuel cells. So we need really quite a lot of uranium and a little bit of iron as well. So, I guess this can just run up here and do that. Actually, hang on, I have a fun idea for how I can make this work better. So, let's see here. This one needs to output onto that. This one needs to output onto that. Then, don't go backwards. This just goes along that way. And now we have all the uranium on the same belt, which saves space. So that assembly machine, I placed it too close. So you get to be like that. And you get powered on, and you make uranium fuel cells. So that's going to start filling up. And then we need iron plates. Is there... There is a train on the way. Is it doing well? No, it's stuck in a traffic jam. Of course it is. Alright, that's concerning though, because this is a traffic jam in the new part of the factory, which is, I believe, the first time that that has happened. Alright, so this rail signal is just wrong. We don't need that. So, what is the problem here? The problem is this train is backed up because this train is backed up because the plates are doing weird things. Got it. Alright, so you want to go through there, but you can't because that train is there. Yeah, this is like the most annoying thing imaginable. So you are just trying to pass along. You're just trying to go through there. Okay, I have an idea. Which... I mean, it should technically work. It'll at least resolve this problem, so we can put a stop down there. But it doesn't really solve the issue, which is this whole thing being the way that it is, basically. I might need to fundamentally redesign everything, which is not fun, but we'll have to see. Alright, so that is probably going to cause problems in the long run. I can maybe make some things better by using more rail chain signals, like that can be a chain signal, for example. And I mean, pretty much mainly just that one, right? For now, at least. Alright, so maybe that chain signal being in there will help. Hopefully. But I am getting the feeling that this whole thing just doesn't quite work properly with lots of trains on it. And he was doing fine when there weren't many, but the more trains you add, the more likely it is for problems to show up. Alright, so this is going along. The iron has shown up. So, now we need the iron to run along this way, and then go in there. And then we need the output to go along that way, and just do something like that. Alright, so this belt, we just connect those two up. And then drag all these down to somewhere like there. And then over this way. And we went too far down, but that's fine for now. And drag that back a little in case we need to place like a bunch more assemblers there, which probably won't. Alright, so then that goes across, and we put the iron plates in, and then we should have success, hopefully. So you are working, and yes, you output uranium fuel cells, and a pretty good amount of it, although probably going to have problems with the uranium-235 anyways. We'll figure that out in a moment. So we get our nuclear reactor down. And this guy just is going to go there and take uranium fuel cells. And that should be fine. So then we have to... Gosh, how does this whole thing work? Put it in a heat pipe, which we might not need. And then to a heat exchanger to turn water into steam. So we're going to have to get water in here as well. Fortunately, we are right by the ocean, so I think I'll just grab that there. And then we turn some steam turbines, and done. So let's get some of those crafted, and some heat pipes as well. Alright, so we can actually check the numbers here. So this outputs 40 megawatts of heat. A heat exchanger can consume 10 megawatts of heat. So we're going to need 4 of them in order to use this at full capacity. Which, see, I crafted 3 just there, so let's add a 4th. And then the heat exchangers output 103 steam, and the steam turbines consume 60. So yeah, we're going to need a lot of stuff for this. We need a lot of steam turbines. And yeah, let's just run over. So I have like gear wheel production somewhere, which seems to be the primary thing that I'm missing for these. So where is that? Actually, I can check the map, right? Yeah, it's this one down here. So we can just head down here and grab a whole bunch of these. And then craft up a whole bunch of steam turbines, and it's going to be like... So if that's 103, and this is 60, it's going to be 2-ish to 1, and we have 4 of these, so we're going to want 8 of these. So we have enough set to craft at the moment. That should be fine. Also, all these drones are running. Somehow the electricity is keeping up. But it's not super great. Alright, so now we head up. Alright. So, the next step is the heat exchangers. We put them like... So I guess the heat is going to be coming from the back, and then the water is going to flow through, so I guess we can just do something like that for now. Sort of lazy, but whatever. We're going to need more heat pipes, I think. So that then does that. And let's get those random trees out of the way. And another heat pipe. Where I could have sworn I had more of these, but that's fine. There. So those are now all connected up to the heat pipe, which hopefully is fine. Do they have like a max temperature or anything? Who knows? Alright, so then we have the steam, which is gonna go out just... It's like 2 to 1, right? So we are gonna need to merge them all up again. 1, 2, 3... Actually, we can just... It'll look better to make this more square, like this. And we don't need to merge them up at all. We can actually just connect them indirectly. And that should work out nicely. So all those go in. All of those go in. And then we are going to need... Ooh, this might be too compact. Yeah, this is too compact. We can't get... Actually, can we? Yeah, no, we can't get power to, like, these internal ones. So we just need to leave a little bit of space there for a regular old pipe. Alright, so then these pipes go in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they all get powered up and connected across. Alright, so the next step is water, so we just need an offshore pump from, I guess, up here. So we just go... Do I have to craft those separately first? I think I do. What tab are they in? Are they in this one? Pipe to ground, pump. There's like a whole separate thing, right? Where are you? Oh yes, offshore pump. Give me one of those. And how much water does this use, actually? I need to make sure I have enough. So So we head down here. This is almost none. Yeah, 10.3 water. A pump gives like over 1,000, so that is never going to be the bottleneck. Alright, so we go up here, we get our offshore pump, and we slap it in. So now we just drag a pipe down, and I probably should have been building it manually just so we don't have to wait like the 5 seconds for the drones to do it. So now we have to get this across the train tracks, which is not trivial, but it's also not terribly difficult. Now we have to play the fun part, which is finding it in the middle of the forest. There. Alright, so it's there. Oh, it does show up. It does show up, fortunately. Alright, so now we just have to drag this pipe a little bit further and not do whatever that bit is we did there at the end. So now we just have to turn it over that way and down there. And that is water supplied to this whole system. And now we just need to... I just realized that this belt that I did is a bit dumb. Alright, so we're going to have to get rid of those. We're going to probably need a couple more of those. We're going to have to just shift the nuclear reactor over a little bit so that it's like past that area of the thing. So if we just have this here, it's probably not going to cause any problems, right? Just put it there. And then connect that across. Alright. I guess we just... Yeah, I think when we place this power line, it'll all happen. Alright. Reactor says it's working. Temperature is rising. That's a good sign. Does it say, like, min temperature 500 degrees Celsius? Alright, so that's just gonna have to cook a little bit, I guess. It's gonna take a while. It's not heating up especially quickly. And I also still don't know if we have enough of this stuff to keep it running. Watch the power graph. Yep, there's currently nothing to see. We do need this to get up to, what, 500 degrees Celsius? That's what it says is the min temperature. So it's gonna be a good while. But it should be happening pretty soon. Now let's just get centrifuges going more, because I am still not confident that these 4 are enough. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're definitely not. Because if we actually do the math here, this... I actually don't know how many of these we need, so... Yeah, let's do the math. So this, consumption of 40 megawatts. These are 8 gigajoules. Now, what is that? Oh, spent result, depleted uranium fuel cells. That is something that I need to deal with as well. Almost forgot that. So there, and then you can just go into a box. Not overly worried about that for now. If we could ever fill up a full box of those, I would be very happy. So up to 186. And still going. Anyways. 40 megawatts. One of those is 8 gigajoules. So again, how does that calculation work? Time to store the spent fuel in a giant underground facility. Yep, a giant underground facility, also known as a random box by the side of the road. Seems about right. So, that's still going. We're about halfway there. We're at 240. We need 500. Alright. So that is... yeah, this definitely takes a while to get started up. And it did just use another fuel rod. Now that was not very fast, which means that this doesn't need to produce anywhere near full capacity, but at the same time, it also, like, clearly needs to produce relatively quickly. So you're up to 300. We're getting attacked. Not now. Just hitting some laser turrets. That's fine. They can deal with it. So how much power is this even going to be? It's going to be 6-ish per thing, and we have 8 of them, so it's going to be like 45-ish megawatts, which is going to be like not quite handling everything on its own, but pretty close. Once it gets started, and if it can remain started once it does. Alright, temperature is up to 370. The process here is still going. I'm gonna get another, where are they? I know I just crafted one, another centrifuge on. Like that. Oh, and I guess... but please. I'm also very excited. We're quite close. Alright, can you just copy just like those two so that you get going as well. Alright, so now that that distraction has occurred, we're up to 461, which means that any second now, 480. These should turn on at 500, although they're still a little bit colder over here, just because they're further away, I guess. Alright, so now this one is at 480, and 490, and any second now. Yeah, there we go. Started producing steam. And we even get an achievement. That's pretty cool. Alright. GD Ballistic, hello, welcome back. We have just gotten nuclear power going. 40 megawatts equals 40 megajoules per second. Each fuel is 8 gigajoules. That means we need 0.005 fuel every second. Over an hour, that's 18 fuel you need to make. Consumes 1 every 200 seconds. Alright, that is good to know. So, if we need 0.005 fuel per second, that's probably going to be easily achievable with this. Shouldn't be an issue at all. Alright, so all of those are going now. Yeah. Hello, I am enjoying the game. It is a lot of fun. Alright, so hopefully this centrifuge stuff I've set up is overkill and we can get some just like extra, so because we do need it for this system in the future to make it more efficient. But now, alright, they're hardly ever running, it looks like, because we just don't need it, I guess. I would prefer to, yeah, I mean our solar panels are currently handling all of our power production, so it's a bit disappointing that it's currently daytime. And yeah, this is my first playthrough. I have just gotten nuclear set up. Why do they like do that just every so often, just for fun? Oh, it's when a laser turret fires. That's what's happening. So the laser turret fires and it drains the accumulators a little bit, and then all the rest of the stuff turns on. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, it's a pretty big difference between the amount stored in one and the amount that they use. Alright, so that is going now. So, shouldn't have power problems for at least a good while. So that's very satisfying. Now let's go back to the sort of side project for the day, which is doing plastic production so that we can like speed up red circuits a lot, because our currently like everything that relies on red circuits is comedically slow. So we want to scale that up so that it's no longer the case. Now we have this. Is this finished? Or I guess maybe getting the pipes to connect up would be nice. So let's copy this and paste it. We're going to have to paste it down there so that we have to give enough space so that these pipes don't connect up. Then all this stuff goes in. And these are the water pipes. Oh, I'm going to step out there so that I don't get stuck. And that might actually be too close, because we need room for the other pipes to get out. So if we do that, that's the water. And then we have, so this would just like run down indefinitely, right? Like that, for all the rest of the rows to catch up. Then we have another one running along here, which is going to be the oil. And so those just go like that. It's 9 centrifuges to make one every 200 seconds. That's a lot of centrifuges. Yeah, I think we have like 5 right now, so we're gonna have to see how that goes. Alright, so we have this, and we can blueprint this. Yeah, actually blueprinting it like that will be good. So this is petroleum gas. And we're just going to make that blueprint. And then, okay, the pipes don't quite line up, but that's fine. Let's It's just like the tiniest possible bit of extra work. So those go in like that. And we just have to like place literally one pipe there. We also need to actually craft the things that go into it. Alright, so let's get some of those and some of those crafted up. Alright, so then this needs to stop being coal input. This actually... Wait. Did we already set up water input? I can't remember what we set all the train stations as. Because this doesn't need coal input, because this is just going to be petroleum. So this one I've set as crude oil. This one up here I've set as water. Alright, so this one down here then can be petroleum output. And we set that. And we need to... Right, so these aren't auto-crafted, so we need to stand within range for them to do anything. And we also need to actually get a bunch of them crafting as well. And our crafting queue is currently backlogged with a bunch of stuff, so that's going to take a while, but it'll get there eventually. And then in the meantime, we can hook all these pipes up. So this is the output stop, so let's grab some pumps. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of pumps for this, which is another thing we need to manually craft. So let's do what we can with what we have. And pump, 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 pump. Please, don't do that. Don't do that. Just go straight across, please. And you don't have to go all the way over there. Alright, so you are all connected up. Now we attach power. Alright, so that is that. And now we just... Why do you keep not being straight? I guess that's not really going to cause any serious problems, I guess. And then we're also going to want some storage tanks. Alright, we've crafted all of the things we need for that, so let's take those out of the queue for now. Alright, so what do we need? We need like 3-ish storage tanks, and we need a couple of pumps. So let's make sure that those are all set up. Alright, so you get a storage tank. Alright, then we go over here. So this is the crude oil input. So it needs pumps coming out of it. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, not that one, because that's where the locomotive is. So those all go in. I feel like I missed one. Yes, I missed this one. There we go. Then they all get connected together and powered up and connected across. I feel roughly 2 chests per hour with uranium-238. Okay, we're gonna have to make more chests then, probably. All right, so then you get a storage tank, and which one is this? This is crude oil, which is this one. So that just connects across there. Alright, then we go up here, I have to get rid of all these trees. So all that stuff gets dismantled. That one tree almost escaped. Alright. Now we have to get all of these in. And across. And now we power them up. Like so. Alright, so that is already set as water input, right? Yes, it is. Alright, cool. Then you get a storage tank. And the pipe just goes down to connect up. So this then connects across. You filled chests to hold all the iron ore you were mining, and you made like 40 steel chests. Yeah. Patches have a lot of resources in them. So yeah, not gonna fill up an entire patch like that. Alright, so this one is just down there, I guess. I probably never set that train to inactivity. I should do that. So you. Yeah, you can have 4 or 5 seconds of inactivity. Oh no, this is the one that needs inactivity. Wait, no, you're here. You're sitting there. Oh, because you're not inactive, are you? Crude oil is actively doing stuff all the time. Which means that it's just going to sit there until this whole gigantic thing is empty. Alright, that's no good. We need another crude oil thing. Is this set up for more than 2? Okay, now zooming in close doesn't give me anything. But it looks like this is only set up for 2 trains, so that's a little annoying that I've set all this up and I don't need it, but we're going to make our trains. Oh, the patches get bigger the further away? That's interesting. I think I might have known that, but I'm not sure how I learned that. Alright. So then this train is going to go in and is probably going to break things. And actually, hang on. Can I give you a group? You're going to be crude oil group. And the reason is that now you can be crude oil group. And boom, done. Alright, so now you need a... Trying to store the remnants of a beginner patch. That makes sense. Alright, so you get a requester chest, and then... Let's see here. Do I have any fuel-based items in my inventory? No, I have 0. So we're just going to have to wait for that to get its request naturally then. That's fine. It'll happen eventually. Yeah, there it is there. So that'll fuel up the... Oh. Nope, where are they going? Alright, they decided to stop for a recharge. And... There we go. It's not... Oh, it can't get there? I thought that was all connected up. I could have sworn that the whole system was entirely connected across. Alright, so we're gonna have to figure that out then. Oh, is it just like a disconnect in this immediate vicinity. Like, I know sometimes there are problems with these train lines just not getting connected across. So we head down here. No, that all looks normal. You'll never run out of steel. Yep, that's for sure. Alright, so why is that train problem occurring? God, this entire system down here is an absolute nightmare. So you go down here, you get down here. Now I'm pretty sure that trains can and do head down here. Yes, there's a train there. So they can get here without problem. Oh. Is that... Yeah, so I guess... I could have sworn I'd connected all of this stuff up, but I guess I did not. So we're going to have to head down to the south to just connect between those two areas. And that'll probably just do it on its own like that. And we're also at some point going to need to get a water train set up, but that shouldn't be a serious issue. Alright, so we head down, and then a little bit to the west. And we try not to get hit by a train while we're doing this. Alright, so now we're here. So yeah, these are just two entirely separate train systems. So we need to connect them across. So, how do we do that? So this is going down. This is going up. Alright, so that is not a natural way for a merge. We could take this one and, like, merge it in. Or, hang on, I have an idea, actually, maybe. So if this is going up and that's going down, if we just... Alright, so that is a start. And we're going to need signals for that. So you get a signal, and then this signal is going to need to be sent down a lot. Actually, that signal is probably just fine for that purpose. Alright, so now trains from over there can get over here. And I actually want you to be... I still don't fully know what chain signals do, but I've heard you put them before intersections, so I'm going to continue doing that. Alright, then we have... I guess we have this, which could be a way into this area. Now, which way is everything going? So this is going down. And this is going up. So I could just... Okay, but it's going to cross over that, which I don't love. Okay. I mean, it's going to cross over somewhere anyways, I guess. So if we just take from here... If we just take from here and then just go... Train signals check the block ahead of them, only allowing a train to pass if the next block is also empty. They're used when you do not want a train to stop within a block that would cause a blockage for other trains. That makes sense why you would use them for intersections then. Alright, so if we just do that... Yeah, so I need to use chain signals more often then. So that definitely needs to be a chain signal, because this whole giant yellow block is definitely an intersection. And you need to be a chain signal. Alright, so if that all goes in, then nothing should permanently stop within the yellow block. And that is a chain signal. Yeah, trains are very satisfying for me. I always like using them. Oh, speaking of which, somehow some train somewhere must not have been hooked up to fuel properly. Now, did this work? So in theory, if that oil train should be able to get down here, but oh, I know what happened, because it never technically made it to the train station that it was built at, because I put the stops in the other way around, which means that it doesn't have fuel. So that alert popping up is basically just telling me, hey, it's found the path. Yeah, I've been working with trains. They've honestly caused a lot of problems for me, but they've also solved a lot of problems for me, so, you know, bit of a mixed bag there. I can definitely see why you might want to avoid them, but they're just so convenient for getting stuff from one place to another. Like, when you have super distant resource nodes, for example, I think trains just make a lot of sense there. Also, did I run all the way up here without any fuel? I did. Alright, can you just set up a request for a stack of petroleum coke? Actually, there's already some in this requester chest here. Also, can that just be open? Alright, so we grab that and we throw it in there, and then that should go off. And did I not set up the signals here properly, or did that train just happen to be there at that exact moment? Nothing trains can you can't just build a bunch of long belts? Yeah, but the thing is, trains are super convenient. So the thing with trains is that you build one train track, and then it handles, like, all of your resources flowing through that area for everything for the rest of the game. Like, you build a train track out... Like, this is actually a perfect example, right? I built these trains here-ish to get copper into this whole network. That's why I built them. But now that they exist, I can just add a tiny bit more on, and then get coal on. And then now that that exists, I can just add a tiny bit more on and attach oil. And if I wanted to bring all those stuff up to here via belts, I would have had to individually run new belts for each of them. Whereas having the trains just saves a huge amount of time. Alright, so that is all going. And we need to then, the last thing for this is we need to set up the water setup. So let's get the train in first, and then we're gonna have to go and set up the water source. It is very convenient. Alright, so we get that, and then that, and then that, and that, and then that. So that train is in, and you are going to be water input until you're empty or in activity. And then we also need to add, but we don't actually have a water output yet. So I guess you're just going to have to sit there for a bit. So then we put the refueler in, and that'll deal with that. At some point, I will give it that stack there to get started. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good way of doing it. You know what's that saying? Is like, don't learn from your mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes. But yeah, it's definitely fun figuring out and piecing all this stuff together. All right, so we need to get up here because this is where the water is. And we just need to, I mean, I guess just like make a stop off of this. Okay, so this water pipe is going to have to go underground real quick. So let's take all that out. And over there. So then this goes across. And across to like there. And then back down and in. Alright, so that signal is going to have to be... Oh, I guess that signal is just pointless because of the way that this whole track is done. Alright, so then we get... that in... and that in, so that this whole thing is its own station. Then we put that, and you are water output. So we do that, and then we grab the pumps, and we just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just run that pipe across and up into there. So now we just have to attach all this up. Okay, please put that. Hello? Alright, well, someone's going to have to come along and put that power line in. It's probably been assigned to some random drone that's super far away. They do that sometimes. Alright, how is that not... Oh, there we go. Those were just barely too far away. Alright, so that's all set up, and now we just have to tell that train that we just made, where are you? It's this one, right? Yes, so you get water output, which is inaccessible apparently. Full cargo or inactivity, not that I expect inactivity to ever happen. I'll set you to automatic. Alright, so how is there not a path up here? So in order to get up here, you need to be on this line going this way, which doesn't seem like it would be an issue. So how do you get on this line? From down here, going this way. I use a blueprint for the city blocks. It's just way more convenient that way. Although the blueprint isn't 100% perfect, there are like some tracks that don't get placed right. But yeah, I would go absolutely insane building all of this manually. Oh, I think I might have seen the problem. At least, I've seen a problem. I mean, surely that... Oh wait, no, this is fine, because there's just not a block there. So that's not a problem. Alright, so it seems like it should be accessible from there. Because if you're on this line going up, then you'll get there. So how is the power going? Yes, we're just going to need more boxes for those. And actually, steel boxes are bigger, right? Yeah, steel boxes are bigger, but I have 50 iron boxes. So let's start by just making sure that we don't ever run out of that. So we get that in. Then we have to bring it over this way so it's not in the way of anything. And then if we just do a quick copy-paste job. That ought to give us all the power we need. Sometimes you just gotta find a big open space outside bot range, place a city block or two, fix the bug, and remake the blueprint. Yeah, I need to do that at some point. It's just like such a minor thing, and it's also very obvious just to look at that it hasn't really been a problem worth fixing so far. It's just like somewhere in like one of these corners there's just like a power pole that overwrites the train line, like here, I think. It's a very minor nuisance. Alright, so now we just have to go back to figuring out what is wrong with making this inaccessible. So, you access it by going up there. Yep, it's a quick fix. So you access it up there, which you would do by coming along this way. And surely that this is not supposed to be this tiny of a block. I mean, it's probably fine. It hasn't caused any problems yet. But anyway, so then you come along here. Okay, so you can't actually do that because that's an inside and we need to get to the outside. So we're on this line, so you would come down like here, right? And then go down and trace along this way. And try not to get hit by a train while we're figuring this out. And then we could just get back here. I don't understand how this isn't possible. I'm pretty sure I've just traced the entire path that it would need to take. Is the problem maybe that it... Yeah, stop is inaccessible from current position. But why? It really should be quite simple. Like, you just go up there, just go up there, along this way, and that's all legal, obviously. Then you go across here, no problems yet. Then you go into this mega intersection and you go up, actually. Okay, so you go into this mega intersection, you go up. I think you might continue along, actually, and go to the next one. Alright, so then you're here, and you go this way. And then you're here, and you go up this way, and then you should be in the clear. So you just take that turn, go up there, and then you're fine. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me. I guess... I mean, this probably needs a signal, right? Like that. But it should definitely be easily drivable to get up here. And then obviously getting back isn't the issue. You can hop in the train in question, and from the map view, hold down control and hover over the trains, and you'll see the path the train would take to get there. And you can see, use this path to find where the train can't continue. That's helpful. Alright, so let's head back over and try to figure that out. Yeah, okay, hover over the tracks, got it. Alright, train, what is your issue? Alright, so we're in, go to the map view, and hold down control. Yeah, okay, so that's definitely working. So we can get up there easily, and then keep going up there. This is very handy. And then go over here. Okay. Oh, I bet I know what the problem is. I bet I know what the problem is. It's probably just like the tracks that I thought were connected up weren't connected up properly. I might just have to like delete and replace them and see if, like, you know, nudge them over just a smidge, see if that helps. Because I'm placing only a single stop instead of a whole square up here, I did this manually, which definitely means that a mistake is possible. Yeah, I mean, this could be something suspicious here. Okay, don't get hit by a train. So what if I take that out and then have you curve down like that to just... Okay, so that has to go away. And then that goes in. Yeah, okay, that fixed it. And now that's not... Alright, so we're gonna have to replace these to be back on the... new track. And problem solved. Alright, so that train should be here in just a minute. And that should all be good. It's funny how this is like glowing red hot. Temperature almost 1,000. Oh wait, do you need special... You need special fluid wagons. I'm dumb. I placed down regular old wagons. That's not going to work. Hang on. No, stop. Stop. Alright, so that might cause problems just sitting there. And we're going to have to do the same thing for that crude oil train that I built. Alright, so you get a fluid wagon. And we're just going to have to build this in place here on this random corner, I guess. That's another fluid wagon. And where are those going? Okay, I thought that train was going to hit me. Unfortunately, it didn't. There's another one. How many times have we been run over by trains in this base? Only like maybe 4 or 5. I've been reasonably lucky. Also, I haven't quite gotten that many trains on this system yet that it would happen constantly. Alright, so those all connect up. And you can go again. yeah, there have been a lot of close calls. Fortunately, I just sort of am trying to build the habit of never standing on train tracks. So sometimes I do just like stand on train tracks like an idiot and get hit, but for the most part, if I'm not paying attention, it's because I'm not in danger. And I just like see the train going by and think I'm at risk when I'm not. We're just gonna wait for this guy to pass. Okay, so yeah, you just stopped there momentarily because you have nothing to deliver. So we're gonna have to wait for the oil train to come around because it has the same problem where I used the wrong type of wagon. So let's get the correct type of wagon crafting and see if we can find you. And you might be stuck, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely didn't set up that area to be compatible with multiple trains, and I stuck a second train onto it. Alright, so we're going to have to head down and then figure out all the signaling we need to do to get that to work. And then hopefully once we get this, hopefully we can get this petroleum gas at least producing pretty soon. We are nearing where I end the stream. Alright, so down we go. We'd like to just get to a nice convenient stopping point before we go. Looks like there's some biters heading in right now, actually, for this corner, which always gets attacked. Alright, so just a bit further south, and we have our trains. Alright. Oh, okay. Somehow... Where is that? Oh, that's not good. Alright, turn around. Right back where we were 5 seconds ago. The fighters have found a new exposed area to hit. And they are just going to chew through, like, a significant portion of the base until I get up there and stop them. I didn't realize there were biters that close. Alright, fortunately, we should get there. Yep, time to just put up some turrets and stuff. Alright, biters, where are you? Hello? Alright. Is that all the biters that were in this area? Yes. And then that stuff is all getting repaired, and we're good. Alright, so... I guess they came from this side. Oh, yeah, well. That was not there before. That's definitely new. And I can't have that being there, so we're just gonna have to get rid of it real quick. So let's get power lines out to be close-ish, and then we get a big electrical pole and a turret box. Alright, that should work. Getting rid of the trees might mess with things. I don't normally build these in areas with trees. Alright, laser turrets are online. And we're good. Alright, looks like we need to get a little bit closer. So we just do another one right up there in their face. And that is that dealt with. Alright, so then we're gonna take those back down. And I guess... yeah, I mean, there are a billion little nests in this area, and It's gonna take ages to like properly clear them out, so I think probably just put defenses in will be more convenient. We'll have to clear them out at some point, obviously, but it's gonna take ages. Alright, so we can head up here. Now, let's see here. They're most likely to come down through this gap in the cliffs and then over. So I think we need to defend this side mostly. Oh, I'm running into a rock. There we go. So this then expands out. Hello, someone built those walls? Alright. So then we just get some turret coverage. And just something like that. And then we connect all of them up. And across. Alright. I think I want to have this head a little bit further south. Just because I don't want, it would be sort of easy for them to just like go diagonally down and around it. So let's just get those in, and this should be good enough. Should be good enough, at least for now. I mean, I guess technically they could go up and over that way, but hopefully they just don't do that. Hopefully they just don't do that. Normally, when they get like an angle of an attack, they just keep trying it over and over again. So it'll probably be fine. Alright, now back to messing with signals on the crude oil line. Yeah, like this is a perfect example of them just... This particular corner exactly has been hit constantly. Just like a couple millimeters over in either direction, has never been hit ever. So as long as we cover like the specific angle they attack from, you don't need total coverage. Although the downside to doing it that way is, of course, that every so often you have to drop what you're doing and run off to stop a new like nest that showed up and got a different angle on things. Alright, so yeah, this entire crude oil area is, I believe, literally all one giant block, which is obviously not what we want. So let's put some signals in. Like that. And now they should be good to go. No, apparently not. So now we have this, which I guess we just need even more random signals in. Okay, so the problem... obviously, the problem is that this guy is dumb and he's the wrong type. Alright, so you get set to manual. So those have to come out, and where are they? There. So those go in. Now this should fill up, and once it fills up, it should be fine. Alright, was that same area being attacked again? It's tough to say. The notifications disappear almost instantly. Alright, so this guy should fill up pretty quickly. And then head out. Ooh, this area is not in drone coverage. And there's a little random yeah, there's a nest down here. And this area is not in drone coverage, which means that it can't repair. So let's solve that problem. So you get one of those in. I just noticed that these walls were a little bit damaged. That was potentially a significant problem. Alright, so that is in, and now we just have to bring a line of drone ports back to somewhere else that has them. Which I think the coal has them, if I remember correctly. Right, and these all need to be powered, of course. Alright, so then this goes out to there. And that goes out to there. Alright, so then that connection gets made. And yeah, so they're obviously missing construction robots. We haven't connected them in yet. Which we can just do just like that. Alright, problem solved. I think. Oh, why is there an electricity problem? Okay. The nuclear power plant is apparently not working properly. Alright, so now we have to run all the way up there and see what's wrong with that. Maybe I, somehow accidentally disconnected the water or something. It's also possible that I've just made a mistake somewhere with the numbers. Or that the uranium-235 isn't enough. Has it been 30 minutes yet? It might have been. I don't know. Yeah, that could have been what happened. Alright, so let's head up. Let's head up and see what's wrong. It's one thing to speculate about what's wrong. It's always just more convenient to just wait and go over there and see what's wrong. Oh, apparently I'm running low on a whole bunch of stuff. So let's stand there for a bit. Catch that wave of supplies. And then keep going. Alright, so we are heading on up. And keep on going. Alright, past the green circuits and to the nuclear power plant. Okay, so we have... I don't see what... Alright, so this is fine. This is fine. No, it is working fine. What? I'm not crazy, right? There was definitely a major power shortage just like 5 minutes ago. And now I come back and it's gone. And there is no evidence that this isn't working. Like, there's plenty of fuel. We're actually accumulating uranium-235. Click the 10-minute button and see. Yeah, I mean... So this was definitely... I see nothing especially weird. I mean, I guess this area here... No, that's just doing half of each. It's hard to tell. I don't see anything suspicious, though. It all just looks normal. I don't see any massive spikes in consumption. I don't see any areas here where we're significantly below 40-ish. But I definitely saw some machines that weren't fully powered. I don't know. It's probably nothing. It's probably nothing. So I'm just going to stop worrying about it. Instead, I'm going to head over here and see if we are producing petroleum gas. It's been a bit, so hopefully the train will be doing its thing. Alright, so the water train has arrived and delivered water into all these machines. Looks like it got through all of them as expected. The crude oil train nowhere to be found currently. Still filling? No, it's definitely stuck. It's definitely stuck, right? I mean, 89K, definitely bigger than 20K. Oh, because I'd set it to manual so that it didn't race off while I flipped the... So it didn't do anything funny while I was changing the types of cars. That's annoying, but that's fine. We just set that, and it'll come around, and then it'll all be good. And then we should see petroleum gas getting produced. So, petroleum gas getting produced is one step towards plastic. Removing a car from a train automatically sets the train to manual. Alright, that's good to know. So I don't have to worry about that. Alright, so once that train makes it here, we should see all of this going. It shouldn't have any problems. I'm going to wait for it to happen just to be sure. And then basically once we verify that that's working, we'll end the stream. Oh, not again, Jeff. Thank you for the follow. I missed that a couple minutes ago. Appreciate it a lot. Alright, so we're going to wait for that train, and then let's see. So tomorrow I'm going to be playing Satisfactory from 2 to 5 Eastern Time, and then the day after that I'll be back to Factorio. So if you're only interested in Factorio, I stream that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're interested in factory building games in general, I stream every weekday. So, yeah, that's about that. Where is this train? Did it get stuck somewhere? Or is it just slow? Is that it down there? It might have had to take some weird zigzaggy path. Is that it? No, that's a copper train. Alright, now the train seems to have just vanished. It's a very distinctive... Oh no, it's one of these two. Yeah, so I have 2 of these oil trains, and they're apparently it's going around to wait behind the other one there instead of coming to the new one. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah. Nuclear power plants in Factorio are nice and safe. Alright. So, why would you just stop behind the one that already has a train instead of going to the new one? Right, so what I need to do to fix that, I need to come down here, enable trade limit of 1. So now only one train should stop there at a time, and the other one should go around to the other one. And hopefully that works. Alright, it looks like it's doing something. Yeah, it looks like it's coming around here now. So it's just going to take a very, very convoluted path, honestly, in order to get here. Let's see, now it has to go over that way, and then down and around, and then back up. Now it's on the nice, reasonable grid system, and it can just get over here. Just gotta wait for another train to go in front of it. And another train. And then it's off. Yeah, it's funny how this works out. The north side of the base is very organized and neat for the most part. The south side of the base is an absolute catastrophe. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, we have petroleum gas in the pipes. It's going to be filling up the storage tank. So we have completed our goals for the day. So, yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a lot of fun playing today. It's been nice streaming. I've had to take a couple days off because of a cold. And I'm pretty much just back to normal. So, I'll be streaming again tomorrow, so make sure to stop by if you're interested in that. And I will see you guys then. Bye.